All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another round of Coffee and Questions. What's today's topic? We're going to talk about disposable inline filters for your, your air gun, your HVLP, or whatever you're using. Could be, a plasma cutter or anything like that out in your shop. Two of them we'll talk about are from Harbor Freight. Then I'm going to tell you about one from, Amazon, and then we'll compare them. We'll see which is better and what are the likes and the dislikes. So let me go ahead. Let's change the picture. Let's get right after it. We'll talk about the first one from Harbor Freight. It's one of the red ones. So here we go. Okay, so we can start with this red one and decide whether or not, it's one you should buy or shouldn't. Now, I've bought these before, and with the coupon, it drops it to about $2.40. Still, not something I would continue to buy. I went through these kind of quickly. They have a poor material on the inside. It's like a cotton. It's not like that woven, kind of paper material, which is much better, composition if you're going to use an inline air filter. But I had them. I went ahead. I used them. Some of the things I noticed, which are common in the complaints, are the threads will strip easy on that female end. And even by hand tightening, you can crack and break that housing very easily. And then you're either taking it back or you're disappointed that you never should have bought it in the first place, where had they made that female end out of brass or some kind of metal, it probably would be much better. Now, if you find that it's leaking some, you can wrap it with that Teflon, thread tape, and then hand tighten them on there. I mean, definitely don't use a wrench. These, the side of this on that female end, it's very fragile, so they will break on you real easily. Okay, looking in, in the questions and answers off of the forum, somebody said, yeah, he gets like lint that eventually starts to break free and go into the airline and blow out, like if he's painting something. Now, I have like a small spray gun that I use. It's a hobby spray gun, and I'm shooting lacquer, and he's right. I couldn't figure out at first, because I was using one of these filters, what was causing the problem, in the finish, and then I realized it was this filter. So I got away from these. I just still have, I think, one or two out in the shop. I don't remember, but I don't use them anymore. So then, Harbor Freight came out with a new product. Let me show you. This one it could be better. I'm not saying that it is, but it could be. Let me just show you. Okay, so here's one that's made by Merlin. It's a fairly new product. Okay, now I did pick up one of these. I haven't tested it for a long enough period of time, but I like it much more than the other one. And if you apply the 20% coupon right now, you get it for around $2. So you do get it cheaper. In terms of durability, yeah, it is definitely better because of the way they did that threaded in with that brass material. So I do have it hooked up. I'm using it. I'm waiting to see if it fails on me or, what goes on with it. Now, I'm told, I haven't cut it apart, that it's still got, possibly, that cotton kind of a fiber material, in it. So I'm very cautious on what I use it on. I use it on my plasma cutter, and I've used it, on like air tool hose that I have. But when it comes to actually spraying something like material from an HVLP, or one of your hobby spray guns, I definitely go with something that I know is a much better quality, and we'll get to that in a second. So with this, is it a better deal? Well, it's a better deal in terms of price, and I think you're going to be happier with it because it now has, some kind of a metal alloy or whatever it is on that female end, which is going to help decrease, that cracking and that stripping. So that's one thing that I did like about it, and I did want to try it. So far, it's holding up on the other uses that I have. I don't have the confidence in it yet to use it on spraying like varnish, lacquer, or anything that, you feel is really important if you're doing cabinetry work or anything like that. So now the third choice, that we'll go to is off of Amazon. Let me show you. And I know that these are a better quality one, and these are the ones that I use for spraying and so forth. So let me change the picture one more time. We'll go to questions and answers right after I show you and discuss the next one. Okay, so these are the ones that I buy. They come from TCP Global, who specializes in, a lot of kind of hobbies and detail painting of automobiles and things like that. You can go to their website. You can check out all the other products that they have. They sell hoses. They sell all kinds of things. Now, you're going to pay more for this, yes, and it ships prime. Okay, but these are much better, kind of like, an inline filter. The housing around these on the female end is much thicker in material, so it resists that stripping and that cracking. The other thing is, I know the inside of these are made with like a meshed kind of paper material. And I'm not going to get like all these little particles of cotton fibers and stuff that blow through my airline. So I bought these in the past. I'm not saying they're the only ones out there that are like this. I mean, you can search around, read the reviews and stuff, but this is an intermittent thing that, I replace. I mean, every now and then when I feel that they're not working properly, and these have always withstood the test of time for me. So I go back to them and I buy them, I mean, occasionally, but they will hold up a very long time depending on your usage. If you're using them every single day, that's a different ball game. You still have these as a much better filter, than the other ones. I mean, the other ones are okay, like I said, for air tools and stuff like that. But, I'm not convinced they're the best ones if you're going to do any kind of spraying where you really want to keep out the moisture and the impurities. I think that these are superior all the way around. I'll leave you the link below that takes you to it. And like I always say, yes, I'm an Amazon affiliate. Yes, I make a little bit of money and I feed the stray animals that hang around my shop with it. So not like I'm getting rich from it, but the link's below. What I would tell you is if anything else, you can click on the link, you can read about these and compare them to your reading and your research on the Harbor Freight ones. The Harbor Freight ones, I do have, that blue one now that I'm putting into use, and it seems to be doing okay. It seems to be doing better than the red ones. So it's something that, I would pick up, and it uses as a backup, or it uses for the things that I suggested. I just don't use them for spraying any kind of finish work. Okay, let's flip over to questions and answers. Now, the questions off of the forum, like I'm talking about with the more inexpensive Harbor Freight ones, what do I mean that, the inside, fibers, blow out eventually through it. It's like a lint material. I don't know how to describe it to you. The inside of them has got some kind of a cotton. It's a loose fiber, and it kind of eventually works itself loose very quickly. It will then blow through the airline. It blows out onto the finish or anything that you're doing. Now, even with air tools, if it was me and if I have a shop and stuff, I would not use that particular one. I still don't want, debris. I don't want moisture, and I don't want these lint fibers blowing through and clogging up your tool or anything like that. So I think that you're still better off with a higher quality, filter inside of, these disposable, inline filters. I mean, that's just my opinion. Okay, there's a comment here coming back to me that says that the guy believes I'm wrong, that the filters from Harbor Freight and even the ones from TCP, or if you get them from Disposable, that they're exactly the same and that there's no differences. You're just paying a huge amount more. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you can disagree with me. What I would tell you is go ahead and take one apart and take a look for yourself. You'll see that the inexpensive ones, I'm back to the same thing, have that really light kind of woven or that real light, kind of cotton material. And the other ones have a dense, like mixed overlap. It's almost like OCB board or something, in terms of that paper fiber. And they're held together very strongly. It's like, paper filters that are inside of the better quality ones. And they tend not to have all of that stuff go through. Now, the other thing is you have much more screening of moisture and debris. So I don't believe that you're right. I respect your opinion if you think that I'm wrong, but I know what works. I've used them out in my shop. I mean, if you've got a different experience, that's fine. All right, next question. Okay, on the Harbor Freight ones, the guy's making a comment where you really have to wrap quite a bit of Teflon tape sometimes around the fitting before you join this on there and screw it on hand tight. Yeah, I know they leak real easy, some of them, and yeah, you're going to have to use the Teflon tape. I'm just cautioning you, this is a very weak plastic material on the Harbor Freight ones. These are a little bit better from TCP Global, along with the better filtration system, but still, I would still use caution. I mean, whenever you're dealing with plastic. Now, the ones on the Harbor Freight ones are a much thinner kind of plastic, and yeah, they're going to break on you easily and strip out easy, so you have to be very careful using them. All right, folks, there's not like a whole lot to say about these. Like I said, they're not the only ones out there. Click on the link, in the description below. It'll take you over. You can read about, the TC Global ones. You can also go to TC Global's website, look at their other products and stuff. I have bought, smaller air hoses and things like that from them. They are good quality products. Now, the other thing about the Harbor Freight ones, that Merlin, it seems to be holding up okay at the moment, but I'm not using it on spray finishing, line. I have a dedicated line setup where it goes through a canister filter, from the canister filter through the hose to one of these, and then into a spray gun that I use for finish work, like, lacquer, varnish, oils, things like that I use in woodworking. So, so far it's holding up okay. All right. And, I'll let you know if it fails on me, but I've been using it now for a little while, and I'm only an intermittent DIY kind of a user. If somebody else has got better experience, drop it in the comment below. Let me know what you think of the Merlin one, but I would definitely go with the Merlin one over the other cheaper red one from Harbor Freight, and you're getting it a little bit cheaper. Now, if you want something really good quality, and I'm using air tools and stuff, my air tool line and my spray finish line, I use the ones from TCP. I happen to know that they're a much better product from use. Now, I know, like the guy said earlier, he disagreed with me, but I disagree with him. I know what's inside of these in terms of, paper filtering versus this lint ball that you can get, and I don't want it plugging up my tools, ruining my finish. Those are my final thoughts. I'm the Home Handyman. I hope you click subscribe, keep following me. Drop a comment below if you know something better or you got a better deal out there. I'm just letting you know what my experience is with the products that I actually have and own. Out at the club, they do the same thing. We buy, sometimes in bulk, and when we buy from TCP, everybody, kind of joins in. So they're using the TCP inline filters also, but like I said, they're not the only good ones out there, but these are the ones that we know work, and these are the ones that, occasionally we go ahead and we buy again because I stick with, what we know. All right, folks, you have a great day. I hope you click subscribe, keep following me, and I'll see you on the next video. Let me know if you like these comedy ones. Every once in a while, I'll throw up a comedy video, probably out of boredom and just playing around, and the presidential debate briefing things and stuff like that. Just having fun, in this quarantine time. And I hope everybody's doing good. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.